Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. I recently took some of my own advice, a rarity I know, but sometimes it happens. It's advice that I've shared with you before, and that it's always to ask when we hear a passage of the Scriptures proclaimed at Mass, especially the Gospel, what happened right before the passage that we're hearing. That often helps to put the word in context when it might initially be confusing. This happened a couple of weeks ago when we listened to a section of St. Matthew's Gospel proclaimed at Sunday Mass. The passage was where Jesus tells us not to fear them, and that what had been said in secret would be revealed. Who was they, them? Not some gender-fluid time traveler with confused pronouns. Rather, as we see reading earlier in the chapter, those who were condemning and attacking the disciples, persecuting them, and even within their own families, those who would betray them. Suddenly the passage makes much more sense. Jesus then reminds us, the disciples he's speaking to today with his living word, which is the gospel, of our safety and security in God, our great value to the Father, worth far more even than the little sparrows that God cares about when they fall. He counts even the hairs on our head. I'm not sure where that leaves those with thinning hair, perhaps even more valuable to God. Then, however, the challenge. We've received the comfort, been strengthened greatly by his words, assuring us of God's care, but the warning follows. His opponents, the followers of the world, attack, persecute, denigrate, and deny, but we must be different. Everyone, he says, who acknowledges me before men, the world, I will acknowledge before my Father. But everyone who denies me, I will deny before my heavenly Father. How can this be, we might say? How could Jesus deny us? His words are crystal clear. It is about acknowledging him or denying him, words and actions. How might we deny Christ? Obviously, in the first place, by the very act of refusing to acknowledge our Catholic faith, perhaps if we're questioned or face ridicule or hostility. To speak for Christ is a mini-martyrdom, to witness for him. We deny him by silence on other occasions when the Church, our mother, is attacked, perhaps when we're staying with friends or family on vacation, we're pressurized not to go to Sunday Mass. We must stand out from the crowd, especially if the temptation also involves our own laziness. We deny the Lord most graphically by refusing to follow certain teachings of the Church, which is not just the prerogative of the so-called Catholic politician, but many in the pews. We acknowledge him by the joyful proclamation of our faith with our lips and our lives, wearing our cross or medal of Our Lady, not just as a piece of jewelry, but as an active witness. We vote according to our faith, and not for those who oppose it, despite other things which might serve us well economically. We stand, in short, contra mundum, against the spirit of the world, and out from the crowd. There's a famous picture of a large gathering of Nazis during the war. All are making the Nazi salute, except one man at the heart of the picture who has his arms crossed. Who knows what that act cost him? But that is who we must be, if necessary, the one man or the one woman in a vast crowd who goes against the flow. Brethren, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, like a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.